recording. Welcome, Maria.
So I'll go first as an example. I'm JD. I use they, them, and turtle for pronouns. And if my mood were the weather, it would be exactly like it is outside, a little bit gray with uncertainty. And I will pass it off to Molly.
Hi. I'm Molly. I'm the chair of the council. If I use she, her pronouns, and if the weather were like my mood, it would be also very similar to what it is today, but maybe a slight bit stormier.
Luke, would you like to go next?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Luke.
Now I'm unmuted again. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm just barely here, people. I feel like I'm a kitty cat that just like is huddled in this kind of secluded sheltered space under a tree, but it's been a really harrowing storm, and I'm glad to be here, but hard time. Okay, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Who can go next?
How about Kevin?
Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Kevin. I'm the host of a live healthcare podcast forum on Monday morning called Peer Networks. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I also like the pronouns VIP and BMOC, but no one has ever addressed me like that. But someday a kid can dream, can he? I'm glad to be here. The weather outside is frightful, ominous, and the clouds are full of tumultuous gray and sometimes almost black looking clouds. I kind of like it because it reminds me of the depression I'm currently in. So things seem to be in sync with the universe. I'm looking forward. My favorite day of the year, or this is December 21st, when the light comes back and we celebrate the returning of the light. I'm not a pagan, at least I'm not a pagan on any government processes, but that's really meaningful to me because this is a dark period, the summer and the sunlight, but once we miss the sun, it really sets my mood point lower. So sorry for taking too much time to talk about my current lived experience, but maybe we can go late. Just kidding.
Maria, would you like to go next?
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Mireya Williams. Ella, she, her are my pronouns. I am the Behavioral Health Metrics and Committee Manager, just sitting in for Bo. It's gloomy and just kind of gloomy and gray out there. So that's kind of what I feel. It's the gray sweatshirt too. So JD, I think we kind of match in that sense, the grayness. So that's how I'm feeling today. Thank you.
Israel, would you like to go next?
Thank you, JD. Isra Al-Hayani, she, her, hers. This weather, I don't know, this part of year is make me feel really depressed. I love the colors outside, but still, in general, I'm not active in this time of the year. I'd love to stay home, connect a little bit with some friends, not all of them. Yeah. But anyway, I love all the times of the years. Yeah. Thank you, JD.
Did anybody not get a chance to check in? All right, we actually got everyone. I'm surprised. I usually forget, at least myself, but that's why I go first. Okay, Israel, would you be so kind as to pull up the agenda for us, please?
Do you want to, because the next things is going to be public comment and we don't have anyone from the public. So I'm going to review the previous minutes and then I'll put the agenda.
Yes, thank you.
I hope this is going to work. I just came from the HR and I hope they fix it. Everyone can see it?
We do see. Could you make it a
Okay.
little bit bigger? please?
Yes, I will. I'm just gonna go up for the attendance.
Okay, and on attendance for those who are on phone, Luke, Drake, Isaiah, Heather, Marquita, myself, James, Demery, Isra, and Walter were in attendance. We had brought the Excel sheet to fill out with folk time. Unfortunately, folk time was not available. Where it says FC, that means full council. I have not received more information on this yet. It is still to be determined. Then the meeting minutes. The meeting covers discussions around an upcoming transponder retreat, including finalizing such details as location, dates, accommodations, and pre-training requirements. Key decisions were made to hold the retreat in Salem on November 1st and 2nd, with a pre-training session on the afternoon of November 1st at the Salem Building, Room 160. Attendees would have the option to stay until November 3rd. Other topics discussed included utilizing ARPA funds for additional projects like offering emotional CPR and IPS training, incentivizing participation in the PSRB survey, and establishing a new member selection committee. The need to clear communication and organization moving forward was also emphasized. Discussions also covered finalized proposal with a dollar amount for the Peer Network Conference in January, identifying swag items for outreach efforts during the Pure Apocalypse event in May 2025, and check for the funds to cover the scholarship for all OCAC members, and potentially scheduling advocacy meetings with representatives in March. The importance of following official processes for submitting recommendations and proposals to the division was highlighted. Action items: reserve room 160 at the Salem Building for the pre-training session on the afternoon of November 1st. Finalize arrangements for accommodations and the main training location in Salem for November 2nd and potentially the 3rd. Add discussions about utilizing ARPA funds for additional projects such as offering emotional CPR and IPS training, incentivizing participation in the PSRB survey, and new member selection committee to the agenda for the next committee meeting. Submit a motion for ARPA funding to cover the cost of swag items for outreach efforts. Explore the possibility of acquiring a van for outreach efforts, considering ongoing costs for insurance and gas. Follow up with a lead-up regarding IPS and eCPR training classes and potential funding sources. Formally document and transmit recommendations, motions, and policy proposals in writing to the directors designee within the specified timeline. I think that was the end of the document.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you for reading, JD.
No problem. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move those slowly that we approve minutes
Thank you.
as
I'll
they
second.
are. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
And go ahead and give us your reaction, green check mark, if you're okay with approving. Or say yay.
Yeah.
Kevin,
I
Molly.
have,
Okay.
I was
thank you.
last time.
Thank you, Molly. Kevin?
Yeah, I was trying to find the green thumbs up button.
Okay, thank you. Minutes passed.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Agenda. Let's see.
I think if we were to have a race right now, Turtle, you'd win. I'm really sogged out.
Only because there's a salad at the end of that race.
Feels
Okay.
good to laugh though.
We're really glad you're here.
Okay, this is from today. And this is the attendees.
So
Okay. we are here.
We still don't have with us currently someone who can help us fill in the details from the what costs were projected versus actual costs for different things. I know that we've put on hold to talk about Pure Apocalypse because we're going to go over that in full council on Wednesday, tomorrow. So let's go ahead and go down to number 5 if we can, which is discussing the success dash failure of the TEAS training. Kevin, I see your hand.
Yeah, just a brief update. The Peer Networks event in January has been canceled. We may be doing something in the Portland area for a one-day Peer Networks peer event, but we're waiting on hearing from OHA and a few other funders. So that question number 2, the outreach for the Peer Networks event, is kind of on pause until we see whether that's going to take place or not. But if it does take place, it'll be on January 6th or 7th in the Portland area. And we're hoping to get everybody from OCAC to be able to attend. And I'm talking to Ebony behind the scenes about all this. So more later.
Thank you. And keep us up to date for sure.
Yes, I will. I will.
Molly, I see your hand.
I just wanted to say, I can't see the agenda, but I wanted to say that I have requested an accounting from Folk Time of what has been spent on the ARPA funds and what remains, and have not yet received that. And maybe JD, if this committee could ask for that, that would be helpful.
Okay, I can push behind the scenes a bit more. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate the information.
I have something to say about that too.
Go ahead, Luke.
I was wanting, early on at the beginning of this committee, I was offering to help you, JD, with some of the aspects of this committee, and that was one of the areas I thought I could help with. I'm not feeling, I'm so overwhelmed, just responsibility overload again. I've just been wanting to voice this for a while, but I do think it's important that OCAC have some awareness about where we are with what's been spent and what we still have remaining and stuff, and we shouldn't just trust that Folk Time has it all covered. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Molly, and I hope we can get this dialed in shortly. I'm sorry I'm so overextended.
You can only do what you can do, Luke.
Right, and most of us have multiple things going on, so I think it's just important to make the ask again so that we can get the information, because all of our other decisions should be predicated on knowing how much money is left, so we know how much we have to spend.
For instance, I don't want to spend $3,000 on swag if we need that $3,000 for somebody to go to Pure Apocalypse.
Right. So we just need to know so that we can make good decisions. I
agree. So yeah, I will be reaching out via email, and then if that doesn't give us an answer, I will call Folk Time directly and ask them for a general accounting. So, is everybody okay to move on to line item 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So line item 5 is going to come up in the full council as well. It's discussing the success dash failure of the TEAS training. Originally with the TEAS training, we were hoping to get as many council members as possible to be able to go, as well as members of ORR, and for it to be a really awesome retreat. I feel the presenters did a great job, and the information that was shared was up to date. It was well timed. It was done really, really well. But at the end of the day, when up to 30 people could have gone in person, I think there was 5 of us. And that was a really low turnout for something that we spent a lot of hours and finances on. Can I hear some opinions from others?
I do have the distinct feeling that early on we had the the expectation that it was going to be wildly successful and everybody was going to want to be part of it. And then as things gradually progressed, I got the more accurate impression that we had overshot our expectations by quite a bit. I'm not surprised about the outcome, but it should color our expectations for future training participation.
I agree. And maybe when we go forward with the different trainings, like I know different ones that you've brought up, Luke and Marquita, about IPS. Before we commit to doing something for everybody, we need to figure out how can we prevent a low turnout again. And that's something I throw to the group. I don't have the answer.
Exactly.
Are you low turnout talking about the last retreat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You were there.
Yes.
So, but anyway, that's something that's gonna go to full council, discussing how we can be more successful in the future with having, for lack of a better phrase, more butts and seats. I feel that it was good that we had the online portion, that more people got to participate because that existed. And that might be something that we look into in the future as well. Molly, I see your hand. Is that still up or up again?
Sorry, it was probably still up, but I will say, I think for me personally, I had a family conflict that would not have occurred if it had been during the business week, which is one of the considerations. I think having hybrid capacity is potentially helpful based on who we are as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to choose virtual or in person may be helpful. And I'm really sad that I missed it because the part that I was able to attend, the hybrid part, was really wonderful.
Yeah, I think they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I'm sure they did a great job in the in-person part because the hybrid part was great.
Thank you, Molly. Luke, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was just concerned because I heard some people talking about there being a virtual component, and I was told that I couldn't participate because it was going to be in person. So I'm like kind of upset, about that. I would have liked to be involved. I was looking forward to this training. We've been talking about it for like 5 years or something like that. And I don't know why there was that piece offered, but it wasn't really shared on enough.
It was mostly through the email chains where we gave the link for the training on Friday, and we had talked in here about how we were doing the room at Summer Street in case people wanted to be together while we did the online training.
Yeah.
So I think that was a miscommunication that we can absolutely look at fixing in the future, but I do feel that we tried to get the information out that the first component was available online.
Oh, yeah, okay, so the first component, yeah, I did catch that part, but the full thing on Saturday was not hybrid. Okay. Yeah, that's my impression that it's accurate. In the future, and I'm looking at this for the ECPR training, that we should go with the virtual one, because it's gonna increase our participation.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
and I think I've seen ECPR is also offered at a go at your own pace, which might be a better option in case trying to hurdle stats is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, moving onward, check in with ORR about the adequacy day in March options and remind the council that we need to know who their reps are so that we can start looking into what day to schedule in March. So there was an email that went out that had the link. Originally, I think Kevin gave me the link for figuring out who your representatives are. I have not had a single one email me that information. So I have not been able to move forward yet on looking into the advocacy day. So we'll bring it up during full council. But this is also a good time to remind everybody in this room that if we want to do advocacy day, like we've talked about the month after Oregon Recovers does theirs, that we do need to start moving towards organizing and reserving that time. the next line item for Pure Apocalypse is put on pause until Wednesday. Number 9, identify what swag is wanted for outreach, whether that's Pure Apocalypse or Roadshow or printables, that we can put PDFs of on the OCAC website. I really feel like once we finish the letterhead, that letterhead is going to influence our design on all of our swag. And I will be emailing 3 potential options to Isra for us to look at tomorrow at the full council. And so I do think we need to put a pause on figuring out exactly what swag until after we get this symbol. What do y'all think?
I agree. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Luke.
Yeah, I think it's hard to design the flag if we don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Exactly. If I may say, after tomorrow, we'll have a better idea because I think it's wise, JD, to put it as a vote of what the council wants as like this guiding symbol, the North Star, the compass rose. So once we have an idea of that imagery of like a logo, then we'll have a better substance to go forward with what it could look like, the swag designs,
And I've got 3 different samples to go through. One of them has the one that you sent me, Luke. One of them has the one that I had been using. And then a third one has more color options and it looks really cool, but it doesn't hurt my feelings if we go with the others. So that's why I have those 3 options and I will be sending them to Israel so we have them for tomorrow. Okay, the next item we have is we need someone to do the research into an IPS or ECPR class, and either settle on a month or find one that we can do at your own pace. So what would happen is we would, Kevin, go ahead.
I'd hate to play a Kentucky lawyer because I'm not in Kentucky and I'm not a lawyer, but just a question of that fork in the road of either self-study or actually having an ECPR class. I would love an opportunity, like in the same way that we had this retreat, this transponder retreat, an ECPR retreat where we could all get certified in it by the end of the whatever 2.5 day mini retreat, whatever. I would like that. The opportunity for self-study, fine, but building community and hanging out and having connections, building collegiality with my fellow OCAC friends has been so important because I'm intimidated by the work product and a lot of people know things that I don't know. And so any opportunity for that really, I think, builds mission, focus, morale, and hope. So I would be really in favor of anything that brings people together. Self-study and stuff is good, but I'd much rather put a proposal in that brings people into face-to-face. I think it's good for our well-being and a whole bunch of different things. So what do you think, JD?
I really agree with you up to the point where people didn't show up. And that's where the fear comes in.
Why not both?
Yeah, that's possible.
Well, let me throw another curveball out there. One of the things, so I don't exactly understand, and maybe Isra, somebody from ORR could tell me. I don't know which came first. The ORR, I think, developed peer fusion in-house, and then I think as it matured, then they farmed it out to a community contractor. In the same way, I don't know exactly how the group that was contracted to do it worked last weekend, but if there were technical assistance dollars to have an ECPR training and you put it out there for PRO contractors to say, I want to bid for that, that might be a better way to do it. And I would also and I think I didn't bump horns, but I think initially Rhea and I were talking, I said, oh, you're only inviting 30 people. And she was saying, oh, it's only for OCAC members and ORR members. And I wanted to break that open as a, you know, I don't know if that's the right language, but I wanted to say, since we're doing this, why not expand the seats at the table so our community partners and people who are interested, you know, could come and attend as participants. I would like to see the opportunity of OCAC says, okay, ORR, with this leftover ARPA money, let's put together a ECPR certification workshop retreat. A third of it will be OCAC and ORR, and the rest will be community partners that, you know, will, you know, apply for a seat at the table to go through this training with us. I would love to see something like that happen. At the same time, then we were also doing in person, but also connecting more with community leaders out there. You know, there are other people in positions that Molly Griggs have at other organizations that aren't formally on the council, but could really benefit their role and OCAC to connect with them. And as well as peers in government, peers in Jackson County, peers in Multnomah County, peers in Clackamas County. All of those folks also really important to network those. So anyway, that's just my way longer monologue than somebody wanted, but some of these things I feel very passionate about, and particularly building the group out exponentially. Thank you.
Kevin, would you like to make a motion that we open up the possible IPS ECPR training to outside participants as well? Because if you do that, we can bring it to full council.
Let me ask you a question. Are we trying to do both IPS certification and ECPR certification in the same full swoop, or what?
I don't think so. I think they're separate entities, but I don't know.
Would do we have a container? How many days is the IPS training to get the IPS certification? Is it 3? How many hours is it?
I don't know.
Is it
8
hours a day or 6 hours a day for 4 days, or 8 hours a day for 3 days?
I know it's 8 hours, but I don't know if it's blocked as 1 day or multiple days. It's just an introduction to.
Yeah, look, that's correct. I think Julita shared this before. Normally the IPS, it's 40 hours, it's going to be 5 days a week, but the council asked for a short one, and they said there is 8 hours training for 1 day. So maybe
But that we don't get certified at the end of that. That doesn't allow us to apply for the PSS certificate with that 8-hour training. We need the full 40.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
What do you have, Luke or JD? Which one, if you had your druthers, would you like to lead with?
I want ACPR. ACPR has much less traction here in Oregon or awareness than IPS.
I already have my peers, so I want the ECPR because that's knowledge I haven't had yet. Molly also says ECPR in the chat.
Why I asked that, JD, is because I think the ECPR training can be done in 2 days or 2.5 days. I'd like to make a motion. Can I make a motion?
Go for it.
I'd like to make a motion that OCAC recommends that the Oregon Health Authority and ORR sponsor a 2.5-day ECPR certification workshop for all of the OCAC members, ORR members, and 15 peer leaders geographically and culturally, and I'm not all of the language of inclusion and fair representation for all marginalized cultures in 15 folks from around the state join OCAC and ORR staff for a full ECPR training, and to have that be done during the work week, like other trainings are. And so I'd like to put that motion up.
Okay, is there a second?
Will that replace the motion I've already put in for the ECPR training?
I think that it continues the language rather than replaces it, Luke.
Okay, yeah, the last full council in October was when I submitted this motion for the ECPR training. We just didn't vote on it yet. So thanks, Kevin. That is actually much more thorough, and I think it's more compelling.
Well, Luke, you're the author of the early one, so tell me this has been a discussion. Does this mean that if this goes through, that Folk Time will be the financial contractor administrator, or is that up for bid again, or is that a permanent set thing? Some of those things are
They
undetermined
all
by
are
this
the-
motion.
They are the
Your
fiscal.
motion, your scope than my motion was. So yes, I think that's on the table. And we want to have Folk Time as a larger partner organization anyways in this peer leadership network, which is what this is all
Right,
about.
I understand that, but there are other players that if there was a competitive bid to put on some of these peer events, I know 6 or 7 of them would stand up at the table and say, let me give a shot at running this. Maybe, I'm, not a criticism of their work at all, for sure. Just, opportunity for everybody to get some connection with OCAC and build relationships through community events.
Yeah, this
I think what
on
you're
the
asking
table
is
would
the
would
training-
help to align Folk Time with this plan more so than bidding it out to another organization, because Folk Time already has their Washington County program for peer leadership, and so this is all about restoring the peer leadership network and the academy, and all these trainings are substantiating that missing academy piece. So the ECPR training has been coming together for quite some time now. Thank you for seeing this and contributing.
Right now, Folk Time is the fiscal sponsor. They are not who we are required to do trainings through. If we find another entity that we want to do ECPR through, then we can go through them. And Folk Time still handles the money part, but they don't have to be the ones who are providing the actual training.
Exactly.
Right, they're not the training providers, they're the money manager for ARPA funds.
Right. Yep. So another strategic piece on the table is MHAO's version of the peer leadership that they've got the recent grant through. Is Marquita is going to be catching up with Adrian as one of the next steps for that. So it could be MHAO that provides that part, training part. Yeah.
I want to make
We'll
sure
see.
that we fully made the motion so that we can bring it to full council. Kevin made the motion for us to move forward with ECPR. And Luke, did you second it?
I don't think I did, but I will, and I'll vote yes.
Okay, I will vote yes.
Okay, everybody else?
Molly says yes. Kevin,
Okay.
yes, with a green check mark. Okay, so yeah, we'll bring it to full council that we want to focus our next one on ECPR. I'm personally hoping that we can do it in April. That's because March, we're doing the advocacy day and May is Peer Apocalypse. But that's gonna be something I'll bring up to when we bring the discussion up to full council.
Okay, so that's going to have to be in December, because we just met at the executive committee meeting and we decided that this one tomorrow would not be the best time. And I was arranging for Dan Fisher and Bronwyn Franklin and Lauren Spiro to be here to share with us, remind us the importance of ECPR before voting on the motion. Fitting that into tomorrow's meeting was not possible, so this was rescheduled for December.
That's for
And so I'm glad we've seen the motion in this committee now, and we can move forward to the next step, which is December, unless we want to change the plan again and do it tomorrow. Just a lot in our agenda tomorrow.
There's a
we
lot in the
decided.
agenda tomorrow. You are correct. So yeah, it might end up being something that's put towards December.
That was the plan. We just weren't all present at the executive committee where we discussed this.
All right, we're on the line item now for public comment. I don't think we have any public currently. Okay. I know that my work really wants me to get back to work as soon as I can, but is there anything else that we want to bring up in this space of time?
Yeah, the 7-member new member selection committee.
Okay.
Drake's been advocating for this, and I've been taking steps on it. What we need is the number, the financial number of what we offer each one of those people occupying the seats to be able to review applications in a meeting. I think it's $50 stipend per meeting is reasonable. Once I have that figure and it's approved by the council, I can communicate that to the community partners that can potentially fill those seats. Without that, it's hard to have that communication in the outreach process.
So 50 times a 7-member council is 350 per meeting. Approximately how many meetings is hoped for?
Between now and July of this next year, I can't imagine there's going to be more than 2 or 3.
Okay, so if there was 3, that's math.
Yeah.
9.
7.
1350.
Thank you, Molly. I appreciate you. 1350. So Luke, would you like to make a proposal for up to 1350 for reimbursements for people on the 7-member council?
Okay, that sounds like a plan. I'll write that down here. I have the motion form already partly filled out, so I'll complete it and send it to Molly and Ezra.
And then would anybody like to second?
Sure, I'll second.
Thank you, Molly. I'll vote yay.
Yay.
Molly has green check mark. Kevin has green check mark. It passes.
Progress. Woohoo.
Now it can go to full council for them to pass it too, but we
Okay.
did the thing.
Okay, thank you.
Most
Exciting.
of
Drake will be happy too. Thanks, JD.
No problem. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this up a little bit early since I think we covered everything that we needed for today. That we're gonna have a pretty robust discussion next month though, once we get all the details hammered out, and I will continue to try to get numbers from Voc Time. Until then, everyone be well, and when it rains, remembers there's hot chocolate.
Thank you, JP. And thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.